Hello guys, Robot1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, we are going to be discussing Yu-Gi-Oh 7, and basically doing a bit of a review on the first episode, and also talking about my thoughts and opinions on the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh 7. So, without further ado, let's get into it so I can give you guys my thoughts and opinions on Yu-Gi-Oh 7, seeing as I've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh since all the way back since Duelist Kingdom, when Yugi fought Pegasus, and for the Millennium, well, not for Millennium Items, but for his grandfather's soul, and Joey, and that amazing song. I've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh for a long time, and I want to give my thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh 7, seeing as I did it for Vrains, let's do it for Yu-Gi-Oh 7. So, 7th iteration of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's go. So with the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7, it was actually had a really weird start, because it started in, basically, Yuga's mind. Yuga's mind, the main character of the series. Basically, there was this giant mech robot. And I'm not one for mechs, but just hear me out. There was this giant mech robot in the beginning, and it seemed to have people riding on its legs, like on its just leg joint, its knee, and there were people riding on its knee, and it had like dual discs on it, this red thing. I'll have the pictures like here of specific bits, and it seemed that we went in the robot. There was two other peoples with Yuga, and there was him, and he was controlling the robot, and as the robot was in the area, it started to run up this mountain, all the way up to another duelist. It kind of made me think of Kaiba, but I don't think it's Kaiba, because there's no way Kaiba's are still alive, like, 7 iterations of Yu-Gi-Oh! No, he was alive in, like, at best 5Ds, but nah, he's definitely not alive anymore. And as we go through the series, as we go through the episode, as we go through this, he actually wakes up, and we find Yuga in his garage. He's basically in his garage tampering with his dual disc, and it seems like in this world he's basically a hacker. From the start, he's kind of hacking into his dual disc, and there's this robot flying around him at the same time, saying you have like 6 minutes and 66 seconds, or you're gonna get a penalty. And first of all, 6 minutes and 66 seconds, that's 666. I already have bad feelings about these robots, because demons, man, demons. But yeah, and basically, where the episode goes from here is Yuga's basically trying to get into his dual disc, and he fails. He doesn't make the time because of the 6 minutes and 60 seconds, and he ends up getting a penalty. And we see on his dual disc that he has 6 penalties, and it seems the max number is 7. So if you get 7 penalties, you're like banned from dueling or something like that. And after this, when Yuga fails, he goes to school. He goes to his school, where we see him on like this bike, this like little dual runner that he's kind of constructed himself apparently. And he said because like a robot comes up to him and says, this is a modified bike and stuff like that. You're not allowed. You shouldn't really be riding that. Well, it doesn't actually say you shouldn't ride it, but this is a modified bike. And he kind of just ignores the robot, goes past it. And when we see that, it seems one of the main characters kind of runs out and talks to him, and his name is Gakuto Sugetsu. I have little notes here from the episode so I can get my mind straight at times, especially names. I'm terrible with names. And it seems Goketsu is the head of the student council, and he's basically telling Yuga how he sees Yuga's dual disc, and he says, "You've got 6 penalties. How'd you get a penalty?" He seems to be very over the top of a character. He seems to be very caring and over the top, and like trying to make sure he's okay and everything. And it seems through this little bit, Yuga's just like, yeah, I got another penalty. I was trying to add, I opened up my dual disc, and Gokuto literally seems to flip his crap to this, and all of that. And Yuga's always so with his friends. And after this, they go to the classroom. And in the classroom, basically Yuga is telling them about the penalty, how he opened the dual disc, and also saying how he wants to open up a new path. So he wants to find a new path, and it seems like that's going to be like his catchphrase. I want to make sure I've actually got the correct thing here. I'll take everyone smiling like, because I want to. Roads are the pun of his name, King. Like he's basically got his new catchphrase, which goes like, "You're going to be I'm going to find a new path and stuff like that. I've got the stuff here. I just want to make, like, it doesn't seem to have, I haven't gotten that. But Yuga seems to be telling everyone that he's found a new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's going to liberate everyone, that's going to make the game more fun. And it seems like that's what Yuga's trying to do. His main goal in this is to try and make a much more enjoyable way to play the game. He seems to, like, this protagonist seems to be a game designer. Unlike a lot of the other protagonists in Yu-Gi-Oh! Unlike Yugi, who just was the best at everything. Unlike Jaden, who wanted to be the best at Yu-Gi-Oh! In Duel Monsters in general. Unlike Yusei, who just was like a badass who just went around on dual motorbikes and was a mechanic and stuff. And Yuma, who's literally just rubbish, and we don't talk about Yuma. Yugioh, who was going trying to help everyone, and Yusaku, who was who just had problems because he was kidnapped and needed to help. He seems to actually be trying to make the world a better place for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the world seems to be very controlled. And basically, while he's in class, he's telling everybody this. Gogetsu is also there. Gakuto is also there, sorry, and they're basically talking. And but just before class starts, we also see this other girl that I'll mention later. She seems to be watching Yuga, and we also see another character in the background who hears Yuga talking about this as well. Talking about all this new duel stuff, all this new game he's kind of designed. And after this, Goketsu says, you should meet me in the student council room at the end of school, all of that. But Yuga doesn't actually go meet him. And before we actually see Yuga leaving, we notice two children are trading. They're trying to say, oh, I've got this card, an extra card of this, so you can have it. And then the other one says, you can have it. Okay, I've got an extra one of this, so you can have that. And then this robot comes out from the sky, the same one that seemed to be looking at Yuga. And it says you shouldn't trade unless under the main corporation of the world. You should always do it when signed into this specific thing. And it seems like the world is very controlled. It's very controlled in a way where you can't really do anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters unless it's recorded by the company that seems to be running everything, and it's really weird at the same time how that's a thing, because it's the Gohan Corp. If everything has to be controlled by the Gohan Corp, and it seems that if you're not doing anything by their rules, you're going to be in strict trouble. So that happened, and then we go to Yuga trying to leave the school. Now, before Yuga can leave the school, we meet a character called Kamijo Tatsuhisa, and he tries to stop Yuga, asking him to, telling him I'm the best duelist in the school, everything along those lines, and he's trying to take Yuga with him somewhere, but Yuga kind of just shrugs him off. But just before he can leave, Kamijo touches his bike, and we get this little electric shock thing where his bike just stops working. Yuga is interested, and then they go off to this other alley place, and we also can see that. We can also see Gakuto watching them as well from the top ceiling because he's wondering where Yuga is. So Kamijo and Yuga go to this place that Kamijo was leading Yuga to, and they go down these stairs, and they basically go in this like abandoned room. And Kamijo said he found this room by accident. We have a tablet saying if you can find the right path, like main character stuff, then you can beat me and become the Duel King. And that's where the story kind of starts to hit its actual intended purpose. Because basically, what Kamijo did was he dueled this. There was also this ghost hologram that appeared out of nowhere. Because this is like a back door into the Gohan Corp's mainframe to be able to add rules and stuff. And basically, what he did was he dueled this hologram 7 times, and it seemed every time you lost to the program, you got a penalty on your duel disc. So Kamijo actually, we see, has 7 penalties on his duel disc, so he's like completely banned from dueling at this point. So what he wants Yuga to do with 6 penalties of his own, he wants him to duel the ghost to try and open up his new path, seeing as Yuga's main thing is he wants to open up a new path. And so basically what happens here is there's also this girl that appears, and we find out that this girl's name is Roman Kirishima, and she seems to be like be in a band or something. She has like this guitar case or something on her back, and she says she doesn't really care about Yu-Gi-Oh at all, or Duel Monsters at all, and she says that she's just here and just followed him, and obviously she does care, otherwise she wouldn't be there. And basically what we see here is her being, and this is her character literally, she's just there. She says she doesn't care, but she obviously does. And she's finding interest in Yugioh. And through this whole period of time, they decided to open up their dual disc, the dual disc on Yugioh's dual disc, to try and install these rules again. So while this is happening, Yugioh's installing the rules on his dual disc. He's trying to, and then the robot appears out of nowhere again, saying you've got 6 minutes and 66 seconds again, saying you've got this amount of time, or you're going to get a penalty. And it seems that because of Kamijo's ability, he grabs the robot and he shocks it again. So he kind of just turns off this robot for a bit, kind of stalling the time limit on there. And this is where Yugioh says, well, I have like a demon inside, but then he just gets completely cut off, like, oh, you're adding the rules still. And this is going on where Yugioh is continuously adding the rules until he's actually successfully added the rules onto his dual disc they've installed. And then the spirit, the hologram, and him actually start having a duel. But funny thing is, the robot reawakens, and also Yugioh's dual disc kind of runs out of battery midway through the programming. So Gakuto, who actually did appear and finds out this and says penalties, like literally goes crazy, penalty, runs off, grabs Yugioh's bike, comes back, and starts charging his dual disc with the bike. Kind of funny. This is all happening, and Yugioh successfully does put the program on, and then he duels the ghost. And this is basically where we learn rush duels. We learn that you can summon as many times as you want in a turn. You can learn you can summon as many times as you want in a turn. Yugioh literally summons 3 monsters, sets 2 cards, and passes. And then we see the ghost. Now, the thing with the ghost is, he summons 2 monsters, but then he tributes into a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So we find out that this guy has a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Is he related to Kaiba? Maybe a descendant. Maybe he's a scientist, because this is a backdoor that no one really knows about, apparently. And it seems like all of this is happening, and then the spirit basically hits Yugioh down to 1,000 life points. Yugioh has like 2 minutes. He's on the floor. He's thinking to himself, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and all of that. And then he gets up and he says, because he has no cards in hand and everyone's worried, he gets up and says, Rush Duel is supposed to be fun, it's a game of infinite comebacks. And then he literally just draws 5 cards, which is how Speed Duel works. If you've got no cards in your hand and it's your turn, you draw 5 cards. And then he literally just goes into his ace monster, he summons multiple times, boosts his monster to some unbelievable attack, and attacks the Blue Eyes White Dragon on his opponent's board for 4k exact damage. I'm not going to tell you exactly how he did it, because then that takes away the enjoyment. And he beats it just before the robot's countdown hits 0, meaning everybody in the room's penalties disappear from this point. Yugioh's penalties go down to 0. Kamijo's go back to 0 as well. Everybody is now on a solid slate again, so everybody's on 0 penalties, and Rush Duel has been added into the world. And also, when Rush Duel was incorporated onto the dual disc kind of had like this little transformation thing that I forgot to say, where it turned into a 7. Hey, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, man. And basically that is the entire episode, outside of like a few other bits where after he beat him, the hologram kind of lifted up and a door opened, and there was a light that shined on Yugioh himself, saying you'll be the next Duel King and stuff like that. But that's pretty much where the episode ended. It ended with them seeing Yugioh in this light. The hologram kind of said, this is your new road, and you've given everybody this. And that was basically the first episode in a whole nutshell. It was basically Yuga's start as the Duel King, going towards the Duel King, him showing us that he is a master hacker, apparently able to hack into the Goha company's dual disc systems, adding in new rules, being the creator of a new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Just all of this in one big thing, and I think that was really cool, personally. The episode overall was really fun. It was a really cool episode in general just to watch. Learning Yuga's character, being someone who's very free, very energetic, being someone who just wants to help everyone was really interesting to watch. And overall, the episode was really fun. And I really like how they're going about how the world is like literally just fully controlled. If you want to be playing this game, there's robots everywhere telling you have to play it a specific way. But Yuga's whole motive is, no, we're not going in this oppressive way anymore, because Yu-Gi-Oh is just, well, even in real Yu-Gi-Oh, the game feels really oppressive. And he's trying to make a new way, a way that has infinite comebacks, because that's what Yu-Gi-Oh always used to be back in the day. You could always have a comeback, and that's what Rush Duels is. It's a format where you always have a comeback. So that's kind of what episode 1 was about. It's showing that Rush Duels is always going to have comebacks. It's giving us a brief introduction into the basic rules of Rush Duel. It's showing us what the whole Seven's main cast is going to be, being Yuga, Kamijo, Sogetsu, and Kirishima. They're the main characters, or Roman. I don't know how the Japanese have done this, but this is basically the start of the series. And something else that I kind of found is, it seems that Roman Kirishima might be a spy for the Goha company. I don't know, this is just a little theory on my end, but from her, the way she acted and when she saw the Rush Duels and everything, I kind of feel like she might be a spy for the Goha company, trying to make sure that, like, they've incorporated children into schools and they have to watch specific people to make sure they're behaving. But yeah, I really did enjoy the first episode. It was really refreshing to see a new style of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the game, and something that I really do want to try out. I really want to play. Honestly, like, there's a new duel programs coming out that I'm gonna try and do Rush Duels on, and if I can, I will. But that's basically the first episode. It was a really refreshing episode. It felt really good. I'm gonna be honest, the art style, it's not the thing that I'm looking for. I didn't really like the art style, because the art style feels more toward the way of Vanguard and stuff like that, which is something I personally don't really like. But even though that was a thing and we had to deal with like Vanguard art style, the anime seems like it's going to be really good. It looks to be really fun, really enjoyable, and I can't wait to see where it goes, because of honestly, from the first episode alone, I'm really looking forward to see more, and because of that, it just makes me feel really happy about it. But guys, hey, that's the video. Tell me what you think thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 are in the comment section below. Did you think it's really cool? Do you think it has a really interesting premise, with like this dark company in the background, like the 666, they're demons, I'm calling it now. They're having kids spy on other kids. But honestly, it seems to be like a really good idea. I really do like it, and hopefully Konami will give us Rush Duel at some point, because Rush Duel just looks great. But yeah, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out the links in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let's hope Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 becomes a great series. Later all.